Good morning, divine beloveds. Peace, well-being, prosperity, and the favor of spirit be to you and your house. I'm Carol, and welcome to the Summer Sunday Café. The God in you is perfect. Therefore, all is as it should be. I invite you to stick around about 5 or 10 minutes after the talk to meet and greet each other, and I'd love to hear your questions and comments. Going to talk about releasing, letting go. In going forward in our life, and we're always in a forward trajectory. We're always moving forward. Spiritually, we are spiraling upward, but we are always in a place of movement. And if we stop moving, you understand by now that the world is continuing to move forward. Nothing waits for us, whether we are angry, pissed off, and not moving, whether we're ill, the world keeps moving on, whether we are just deciding that we're not going to do anything, we're going to check out of life and just hang on. The world continues to move. Everything is in constant motion, except there are times when you and I get to a place where we're stuck, we're stagnant. What Spirit wants us to understand is that we have to get in sync with, in alignment with the way life goes. It's just as simple as that. Sometimes we'll say, it is what it is. Life is just that way. That's the way it goes. There are so many ways to say the very same thing. Life is in movement, forward movement, and we have to get in that flow of things. We're familiar with that word flow. It feels good. We are flowing like water. Buddha talks about just flow like water. Water doesn't stop and get all upset. If there's a hindrance, if there's an obstruction, the water simply just moves around it. So we want to get that kind of flow feeling, that flow movement in our lives. Let me give you an example of how we get kind of stuck. We're all familiar with snakes. Snakes are quite beautiful. When you go to the zoo or you see them behind glass, as long as they don't get close to you, they're quite beautiful. Snakes shed their skin. They shed their skin as they grow, as they become larger. The skin that they're in is not able to stretch. So they have to get out of it. They have to shed it. We've heard of that. The way it happens is that they'll wiggle and move and they'll get on something rough and they'll keep scraping until that old skin is removed and their larger body is able to function freely and they move about doing whatever snakes do. And there are different kinds of snakes, but the point is at this moment, we want to talk about shedding what is old so that the new growth, that new you, that you with a larger perspective, that larger you can move freely in your life. There are different kinds of snakes and they shed differently. There's the rattlesnake. And I found this rather fascinating. The rattlesnake, as it sheds its skin, it rolls backward. It stays on the body of the snake. And each time they shed skin because they're larger, that skin just bumps up against the last time they shed and the last time they shed. And so you can know how old a rattlesnake is based on the number of rings that it has on its tail. Those rings are old skin that it shed, hence the rattle. So when they move, that dried skin just rattles. Well, that's how some people are. They'll shed the skin and it's still there and they're rattling and they're rattling and they're telling the same old story. And then they have another sad story and they're telling that sad story. And everybody knows a rattlesnake is coming. When you hear that rattle, you know that there's a rattlesnake somewhere around and you want to get away from it. Same thing with some people that collect their experiences and they just rattle, and you hear them coming and you know you want to get away from them. As beautiful as they may be, as whatever they do in the earth, the rattlesnake, nobody wants to be around them because they're poison. They'll bite you. Their rattle is a warning sign that they're coming. People that rattle like that, they're toxic. You don't want to be around them because their rattle does not represent anything positive or good or anything that you want to be associated with. I know none of you have a rattle on your tail. Conversely, there's the other snake that sheds its skin and just keeps it moving. Doesn't keep it on the tail. That's not what it does. It sheds it. And so I understand that in parts of the desert, you can see little things laying around, and it's the skin from a snake that has shed that skin, and it has moved on with its beautiful pattern, its newness. It's gone on about its business. And they're quite lovely as well. But that skin that they shed is not useful. No need for it. That's a picture of our lives. Sometimes we need to just shed things in our lives. Shed old stuff. Don't hold on to it. Don't let it be a part of your life that rattles every time you move. You shed the skin, you shed the old experience, the hurt, the pain, the indignities that you may have suffered. It was a part of you. That experience served its purpose, but it doesn't need to stay with you. Let it go. Leave it behind. Move on. You have a beautiful new skin, a new life, a new experience that is perfectly suited and fitted for where you need to go now. And as you grow and you move forward in your life, it will come a time that you need to shed that skin and let that go. And don't go back and try to pick it up or look for it or see what it looks like. You already know what it looks like. You wore it. It's old. Get away from it. It is actually dead. Think about it. The rattlesnake holds on to the dead skin and rattles. Other kinds of snakes shed the dead skin, gone, no use for it. Others may come along and see it. They got to figure out what it is. Doesn't matter. The snake has no use for it. They move on until it is time to shed again. I want you to open your mic, and I'd like to hear what you have to say about shedding skin.
Dr. Lawrence, I do have something to say, but I want to include something else, if that's okay.
Sure, of course.
First of all, I want to say thank you for 10 amazing summer Sunday cafes. It's been absolutely wonderful hanging out with you at the cafe.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And the menu was really outstanding. We started off by talking about fear, and you reminded us that God has prepared a table for us, and you encouraged us not to invite fear to have a seat at our table. Next, we celebrated. You suggested that not only should we celebrate our own personal successes, but celebrate others as well. We were reminded that obstacles may be necessary in order for us to reach our goals. From there, we called on AAA. And with AAA affirming that spirit answer is yes, and that we have to allow things to happen, and we have to make ourselves available in order to receive what may happen. Afterward, we focused on every awareness of God. And you told us that spirit is always there, no matter where we are, no matter how things get for us. Following that, we saw the light. We were reminded that spirit created light out of darkness, and we have the power to speak light. You shared with us that if we just show up, that's the first step in reaching our goal. And then you asked us, well, what are you waiting for? You told us that we need to be outside ready because words have power. Later, we discussed that even though something is broken, it still can be beautiful. And we should take our eyes off the cracks and stand back and look at our whole selves. Look for the beauty that we have. And sometimes we may have to change the purpose in order to get that beauty. Last week, we searched the cost of things. You told us that everything has a price, and we have to bring all things into divine alignment in order for it to happen. So today, we're going to release and we're going to let go. That rattlesnake, I don't want to be that rattlesnake. I don't want to just hold on to things. I want to be like those other snakes and just release it and let it go and remove those old things so that we can have space for new growth, because I definitely want to grow. And I want to say it was a wonderful event, and I can't wait until fall. Thank you so much.
I am, first of all, totally overwhelmed. When you were speaking, I'm thinking, where'd she come from? Holy Spirit would send somebody like that to encourage me the way you have. You're magic, that you would affirm the work of spirit like that. Is there anyone else that would like to comment on shedding skin, leaving behind, or anything else?
Dr. Lawrence, the Sunday Cafe has been excellent. I can't wait for us to start again. Blessings unto you and your giftedness and all that you do. God bless.
Thank you so much.
I do appreciate you, and I have enjoyed each one of our Sundays.
Okay, if that is it, then namaste. I'll see you in the spirit next time. Peace, well-being, prosperity, and the favor of spirit be to you and your house.